Today is August the 20th, 2025. This is Carmen bringing you your daily Bloodborne Remaster updates. We don't have any news on a Bloodborne Remaster today. In terms of Souls news, we have a little bit to go over. A little bit for Elden Ring Tarnished Edition and a little bit for Night Rain. So for Tarnished Edition, people have, gotten to play it on the Switch. And they say that on the Switch 2, handheld mode for Elden Ring is a disaster and it runs like complete trash. I saw this coming, I say this quite often, and people don't like it most of the time when I say it. We love From Software for a lot of reasons. Optimization and technical know-how is not one of those reasons. They don't know, it's just something that they're really behind the industry on, which granted the entire industry really doesn't make much of a priority out of optimization these days. But From Software, they've been working with this same engine for so long, and yeah, it never runs super good on anything. So I kind of saw this coming. I figured the game was not going to run well at all. And sure enough, I am correct. It runs like complete garbage on handheld mode. On the dock mode, I'm sure it's, a bit more stable. But yeah, Elden Ring doesn't even run in 60 FPS on like PS5 and Xbox Series X. It doesn't run in 60 FPS consistently. So yeah, I saw this coming. I did not for one second think that the handheld mode of this game was going to be worth playing in the slightest, and I'm glad to know I was right. So in terms of Night Rain news, Everdark Sovereign Gladius just went up, and I watched Yui fight him. I'll reserve my comments for Yui's style of play later, but I'll save that for later. But Gladius seems much more in line with like Fulgor, and I guess you could say like Adel, as in like he's kind of just a straight up upgrade. In fact, I would say he seems like he's on the better end of Everdark Sovereigns, like with Fulgor, Libra, and I think Maris looks cool, but I haven't fought her. So, but Stormruler gimmick, how bad could it be? They've never fumbled a Stormruler gimmick before. Even Yorm, the weakest version of that gimmick, was still really enjoyable. So I'm sure that Maris is okay, but yeah, in terms of all the Everdark Sovereigns, it seems to me like Gladius is kind of more in line with what Fulgor was, where like he's just a straight up upgrade with new versions of all of his attacks and some completely new moves, including some moves that are very similar to what Hailstor uses. We're still like unsure if Hailstor is getting an Everdark Sovereign. We'll have to wait and see on that, but we have seen Gladius's now, and it seems really cool. Something I'm looking forward to fighting when I eventually play Night Rain on PC with mods to just fight all the bosses. So yeah, looks very cool. Excited to fight him. Like I said, he seems like he's probably on the better end of Everdark Sovereigns, but I think the only ones that are bad is like, I know a lot of people, some people didn't like Maris, some people don't like Libra, some people don't like Adel, and I know some people don't like Caligo or Nulster. The only one that I think is like universally considered great is Fulgor, and the rest of them are all like kind of divisive. But yeah, we'll see what people think about Gladius. In terms of gaming news, there's nothing I really want to go over today. We touched on everything yesterday. People are honestly not that high on the Gamescom show, and I find it quite odd. I'm usually very cynical and very harsh on Jeff when it comes to his shows. I thought the Gamescom show was good. It was an A-tier show. It didn't really have anything I was super looking forward to, but it was a solid show, man. I mean, I'm not going to get mad at him for it. He did fine. Even the things he showed that I didn't care about, they at least looked interesting. And he brought less people on stage than he normally does, which was, thank God. I was very happy to see that. So yeah, I think that the show was fine. Normally I'm very hard on Jeff for these things, but I thought Gamescom was pretty good. Probably the best Gamescom show he's ever had, and better than most of his Summer Jeff Fests and Game Awards. So yeah, I guess that's it. No news on a Bloodborne Remaster today. We were coming up on day 1500 in 4 days at this point. Crazy. The card at the end of the daily update will change at 1500, and then we'll stick with that till 2000. So yeah, I'm out of here. No news on a Bloodborne Remaster today. That's been your daily Bloodborne Remaster update for August the 20th, 2025.